So summers here in San Diego and along the coast is pretty much going to be foggy, maybe sunny, and then more fog, especially true in May, June, and actually into July. This is just one of those summers where we got a lot of overcast along the coastal area, but looks like there'll be some flying today. So, because there is a low ceiling with clouds, somebody did ask me on this day, well, what happens if you get into the clouds? And well, there's the sensible answer, there's also the legal one. On the airspace chart, you'll notice that we're kind of surrounded by a lot of airspace here. We're here in Torrey, and we have G airspace, and then above that, beginning at 700 feet above ground level, you see that magenta line or shading area, which means that E controlled airspace starts at 700 feet above ground level. So if we stay below 700 feet above the ground level, we can stay at 1 mile visibility and stay clear of those clouds, which not only legally, but it's also a very sensible thing to do. Don't want to be flying in the clouds. I actually did pull some big ears a couple of times to stay below that cloud layer. And you could also move away from the lift along the cliff edge and lose some altitude that way. There were a few people out today, but again, the crowds haven't gathered yet. Not many students, a few people up, so it's pretty much on my own. And I must admit, Tori, as I've said many times, can get very crowded. And for me, it's just being able to really fly with not having to deal too much with the crowds. Obviously, that's something you got to be really on guard for. Very easy to be turning right into either a tandem, another pilot. You know the drill. So it was just nice to be up here relaxing and just doing what I do when I come to Torrey. I did have one viewer say that they just didn't like the music playing in the background. And I guess all I can say without getting too poetic about it is that's exactly kind of the way I feel when I'm flying. And music maybe just kind of accentuates that for me, especially as I look back over these videos for myself, for my own personal enjoyment later on. So there you have it. I actually did quite a few top landings, had my fun. A few people coming out now, and I'll give them the space. And we'll come back to Torrey on another day. So here I am flying about 2 weeks later, and the sun is starting to poke through. So this is definitely going to be a day where the sun will come out. There'll be a lot more tandems. It's a great day for flying. I was able to go both north and south of the launch. Just a nice day of flying. Again, I'm out early, getting a nice lift, getting my time to fly in. Then I'll leave it to the crowds. So I was up in the air for quite a bit, maybe one or two other pilots up there. The clouds are starting to break up, that sun is starting to shine through, and this has just been a wonderful day of flying. When I started flying Torrey years ago, you have this introductory video, and they really emphasize blowing that whistle whenever you're in what they call the window, which is just north and south and through the launch area, especially if there's any RC. You don't want to be hit by one of those things, they can get pretty big. I've noticed that this rule is, well, shall I say, it's not really reinforced very much. Unfortunately, there have been people that have been hit very close to this area, and there have been people that have died. So, what can I say? Good thing to follow if you do fly Torrey. You can never be too safe, and I'll just leave it at that. So I had two wonderful flying days at Torrey within a 2 week span. Very different weather. First one was very overcast, but this is turning out to be just a beautiful day with those fluffy clouds just overhead, sun shining through. It's going to get more crowded now. Obviously, beautiful day to come out. I think I was out for about 2 hours, so I had my day. So all my free flying has been just soaring Torrey for the most part. Again, a little too hot to go inland, definitely too hot to go to Salton Sea or anything for paramotoring, so haven't done a lot of paramotoring at all. I did lose a really nice site on private property. Another site was lost to development. And then another site, the people there aren't keen to have paramotors flying there. It is next to the Little Black launch area, so there's some tension there. So I've kind of stayed away from it. So I'll continue to enjoy Torrey, probably out to Little Black when I can, when it's not so hot, which has really been hot inland, and it always is. It's summertime, for crying out loud. But lately, I've actually come full circle back to where I started in aviation. In the mid 80s, I got into ultralights. There was plenty of places to fly. That was the golden age. Then I got my private pilot's license way back when. Hardly know this guy now. Got my instrument, got my commercial, I even got my CFI and taught part-time for a bit. And I just got current again, flying general aviation aircraft. Specifically, I've been flying the Cessna 172s. I actually own this airplane as well as this Piper and leased it back to the Flying Club years ago. And even though most of these aircraft are now decades old, the avionics on them have all been upgraded. You have GPS, you have more of what they call the glass panel, you have iPads, you have a whole lot more going on. I fly out of the Palomar Airport here in Carlsbad. Here I am in a Cessna 150, again, above the clouds. Anything to get above those clouds. It's just a beautiful sight. In a way, I'm very fortunate. I learned to fly here in San Diego, which has very crowded airspace and a whole lot of chatter going on in that radio. So you soon learn to become very good at listening and speaking. My wife would love to go up with me, but only if I fly that airplane. But I've also been looking now what they call light sport aircraft, which is kind of ultralight on steroids. Very sleek, newer aircraft, just a real updated modern panel. And that's what I think I'm going to do for a little while. And specifically this 2007 Sportstar. Beautiful aircraft. I'll still be paragliding. Paramotoring, I'm going to see if I can maybe get out to Salton Sea, perhaps this fall or winter when it's cooler. But in the meantime, I'll just always be up in the air. I just don't know what version of aircraft I'll be in. That's it. Thanks for watching. I don't know if you want to see me up in a light sport aircraft. Maybe I'll try something else down the road too. Who knows? There's always another form of aviation to get me excited. Take care. Thanks for watching.